Hello, everybody. In this episode, we start working on our underbody and keel and live on the hard in Oriental, North Carolina. Well, the boat is on the hard now, and we're going to start by working from the bottom up to the top, from the bottom of the keel to the top of the mast. And there are things that need to be done in everything and in between. So anyway, living on the boat on the hard is not my favorite because it feels a little precarious, just climbing up and out of the boat, and also the supports of the boat. Sometimes when the winds really kind of kick up, the boat kind of moves and shifts around a little bit, which is a little disconcerting. The quicker we can get the bottom of this hull done, the quicker we can get it back in the water and continue the work in a slip, which is always a lot nicer. One of the major ways to save money in owning a sailboat, a larger sailboat, is to be able to do the bottom paint yourself and to take care of the hardware on the bottom. Marinas charge a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars to do the bottom paint. It needs to be done depending on how you use your boat, either once a year or once every 2 years. In this case, it's been 3 years since this bottom has been done. But you really do save a tremendous amount of money if you have the time and ability to do it yourself. Now, not all marinas allow you to do your own work on the boatyard, but this particular one did, and there's a couple in each of the states. Down south, it's a little harder to find them as far as in South Carolina and Georgia, but there are places in Florida, there are places in North Carolina, there are places in Maryland. If you do your boat work on the hard, what boatyard do you use that allows you to do it yourself? Please make a comment down below so we can learn about all of these marinas. And if you're from another country besides the United States, let us know. Are you allowed to do it yourself, to do bottom work in the boatyards that you use? So the first thing to do after the boat's dried out a little bit is to get a sander and start sanding down the bottom to clean off all the dirt and the schmucky stuff. You got to get that sanded down real nice. You don't have to remove all the ablative paint if you're going to be adding new ablative paint. But certain paints you can't mix, and you have to sometimes strip the entire paint off. And so you got to find out what type of paint you're using and can you add it on to existing paint. In my case, because I had originally used the least expensive West Marine bottom paint, ablative paint that they made, I knew that the new good stuff that I bought was also ablative paint, but I still needed to sand it down really good and clean it up good. So I got a very inexpensive sander. I use 80 grit sandpaper. I got it from Walmart. It's like $15. It's small, but it does the job. Hey everybody, so it's getting a little bit late in the afternoon, but it's still like super hot out. And I just had my dinner, so I'm going to go and do a little more work and keep moving this project forward. Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, it's getting real hot now, so I'm going to take a little walk around the yard and look at some of these boats. I love just hanging around in boatyards, actually. It's kind of cool seeing the bottom, but you don't normally see the bottoms, obviously, when you're in out. So it's kind of neat to see how the different bottoms are all a bit different. So this is the keel to hull joint or seam, and the first thing I need to do, is to grind down all the old ablative paint, and you'll see that what's underneath it is a type of marine sealant, and then I want to make sure that there aren't any gaps, and then I'm going to put some epoxy, and then some primer, and then I can put the new ablative paint over that. Also, those of you who have watched the keel episode, I just want to let you know that there is a comment by someone who I really respect, who gives a much more thorough input on the whole keel issue than my episode did. And again, my episodes are just kind of like me thinking out loud. They're not meant to be definitive or even thorough, necessarily precise. But I would like all of you to read his comment, because it's a much more thorough coverage of the issue with bolt-on keels than my episode did. So please check it out. In the meantime, I'm just sitting here waiting for the sun to get a little cooler, and going to make some dinner and then do a little more work on this keel. So moving forward, and it's very labor intensive, but it's a lot cheaper than having the boatyard do it, that's for sure.